Pregame.com.
Welcome back, pregame.tv. I am Steve Fezzik here with Bryan Leonard. We're going to be breaking down the Los Angeles Lakers hosting the Minnesota land of 10,000 Lake Timberwolves. Bryan Leonard, you've got a smile on your face, punched in another winner. Let me make sure I get it right. 12-2 now, right?
12-2, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and hopefully Florida State comes in for us, and a nice run for us right now.
Very good. Still should have gotten your game of the year right. That's
I got to make up for it.
Disgraceful. Hopefully you got a winner for us in this game. Boy, I'm torn on this game because I hate both these teams. So, but that's not surprising because I hate almost all the teams. You got a Laker team. They got predictably blasted at Denver, but Gallinari was out, so that, I guess, it's funny too. Sometimes you see injury reports, you just shake your head because it was a terrible spot for the Lakers, and I saw the line was 7 up to 7.5. Gallinari's out, and people are like, oh, Gallinari's out. You can just see the urgent update. Gallinari out, and the line drops down to 6 at Chris, and it's like, who is betting the Lakers? It's like Gasol is out for them, and they're totally dysfunctional. But these T-Wolves, they've been dysfunctional all year. You could have gotten them for 40 season wins before the season started, and then right when Kevin Love broke his hand for the first time, boy, was that a good bet in retrospect.
Minnesota's got some talented players on that team. They've just been very unhealthy all season long. In fact, the last 2 seasons, they've been very unhealthy. Now, I would like to put out a recommendation next year that we're going to have some value on them over, but when you have players that continually get hurt each and every year, it's something you got to keep in mind when you're playing those futures.
I think about that documentary on Sam Bowie. Now, that was a leg issue.
That was a great documentary.
It really, my favorite line from that documentary was he said he was unhappy. His 10 years in the NBA, his only happy time was when Michael Jordan got hurt for like 3 months, and people were like, why the heck didn't we pick Jordan during that time? So I wonder with Kevin Love, he's going to be like a superstar for years and years, and now I know it's not the leg, so he should be okay. I mean, usually it's a knee or a leg problem that derails a player, but it's certainly an element of concern.
Yeah, it's a freak injury, so hopefully he seems like a really good guy, and he's such a good ball player. It'd be a shame if he suffers injuries the rest of his career. But let's get back to this game here, Minnesota.
Break it down.
T-Wolves dropped 18-22 heading into this Tuesday game against Phoenix. Who knows what's going to happen there? Neither team probably deserves to win. They'll find a way to lose it. But it's the second game of a 3-game road trip for Minnesota. I think to our advantage, a lot of people are talking about, and we've talked about this many times, about the Lakers. Will they make the playoffs? Will they not make the playoffs? Now the Lakers playing a little bit better ball. Of course, they're playing some lousy basketball teams to bring that record up. But they've won 11 out of the last 16 games. I think because of that, we're going to see a little bit of Laker inflation on this game. They're playing a Minnesota team, not very good, suffering injuries all season long. I can't see Joe Sixpack, let's call him, going into a sports book and playing Minnesota. Hey, the Lakers need to win. They need to make the playoffs. So I think we're going to get an inflated line with Minnesota. But interesting, the last 18 games the Lakers have played, they've been beaten by double digits 6 times. They've only beaten the opposition by double digits 3 times. That tells you a lot about how this Lakers team is. They're either really good or they're really bad. And if you looked over the schedule, they haven't really played a really tough schedule, and they're still getting blown out in many instances.
Yeah, and you're looking at certain games, like I recall the Portland game, where, of course, they need every single one of these games. That's all they can do, not to cover the 10, but to win the game outright. And so we're talking about teasers and the like. You don't tease Laker games because the spectrum is so wide in terms of the ultimate results. And with the game in Phoenix, you got to feel that Minnesota's like their season's gone. They know about it. This is the game that they'll have circled to bring maximum effort, because even though the Lakers are below 500 team, they're the Lakers, and so they got the bullseye still on their jerseys. Let's go ahead and make it official.
This is similar to another game we talked about when a team goes into New York. Teams get excited to go in there. Steve pointed out, Minnesota going into L.A., not only going into L.A., you're playing the Lakers. They're not the Clippers, but they're still the Lakers. We're getting a lot of advantages here. I just don't think the Lakers deserve to be this big of a favorite. Favorites of this magnitude don't get blown out by double digits as many times as Lakers have during this streak. And keep in mind, this has been a winning streak for the Lakers, so they're still getting blown out when they lose their games. Can't lay any points here with the Lakers. I will take Minnesota here. I think they're an underrated team. We'll take Minnesota as our play on this one.
Well, I could lay 5 on the Lakers, but that's not what the spread's going to be on this game. You think double digits on this one?
I figure 9, 10, 11 in that range.
Probably a case 2 where it's going to be 9 to 10 or 10 to 11. You always get an extra half point to a point here locally. So if you do live here,
if you live here in Vegas and you're around a Stations casino, you can always get an extra half a point on the Lakers
or a Coast. Gotta love what Bob Scucci Deal is trying to get balanced on that.
Do what you got to do.
All right, we went ahead and we faded the public Lakers. Stay with us at pregame.tv. We're going to jump into the college basketball. We're going to fade probably. We'll have to stay tuned to see. We'll probably be fading a very public Duke Blue Devils. I'll break down Duke, Virginia, and what is clearly the right side in that game. Stay with us, pregame.tv.